earlier on the phone, so.
It's like some game show. Oh, good. Hi, Tom. It's David on the barge.
Hi, David.
Can the audience hear the phone?
Yes.
It's working. Everybody here is just overwhelmed as usual when you see on the waterfront, and we're just really pleased to have you in the room. We're on a floating wooden barge with about 40 people here, and we'd like to say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Where do all the people come from?
Most people.
They are community college teachers from around the country.
Oh, okay.
And our leader here is Richard Hanley. Spells the name same way as you.
Yes, we spoke about 2 years ago, Tom. The same circumstances on board the barge museum.
So are you Richard Hanley?
Yes, I am Richard Hanley.
Where are
And
you from, Richard?
pardon me?
Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. So you're a local guy.
Yes, I'm a very local guy.
Okay.
So I wondered if anyone from the audience had any questions for you. I know that I did. I'd like you to tell us about your experience as an actor and how long that career lasted for you, and then what you did for the rest of your career.
Well, my career was very short. It consisted of 2 weeks working on the waterfront and one appearance on a TV show right after that.
Okay, and then what was the rest of, or what was your other career?
My career for 52 years was as a longshoreman.
Okay, now I have a question, and was there any change in the level of corruption from the time you started to the time you ended? In other words, was the corruption that they showed on the waterfront realistic? Did it change? Did it improve after that time?
Well, I think at that time it was realistic or worse. Actually, my father was murdered on the waterfront in 1939.
I see.
And it was by Irish gangsters.
Oh, and that was in New York or the Manhattan West Side?
Yeah, my father worked on the docks in Greenwich Village, West Side.
I see. Are there questions from the audience? Does anyone have? Yes, there's one back there.
I've always wondered, since you were so young, what did the director say to you to get you to that emotional place?
Can you come up front and ask
Sure.
your question? Actually, you can ask your question right by that microphone there if you want. Let us know if you can hear the question, Tom.
Tom, I just wondered, what did the director say to you to get you so emotional for a pigeon for a pigeon line?
Did you hear the question?
I didn't know.
Okay, once
Can you hear me now?
The question that you're going to get, you come up here, Claire. Claire did the play 2 years ago. I invited her as my guest, and she did a play here on the barge. But here's her question.
Hi, Tom. My question is, what did the director say to you to get you to that emotional place where when you say a pigeon for a pigeon and your face was clearly covered with tears? It looked real to me. It looked like you really were very emotional. I just wondered what the preparation was for that.
Well, I've been there with tears, and how I got And when I did that scene, they put me in a room with a cop that I hated, and me and the cop went toe to toe, and then they threw me out to do the scene.
I figured there was something, because you were wonderful in that moment. Absolutely wonderful. I directed on the waterfront for David Sharp's here, and so I loved the play, and you were just beautiful in that moment. So thank you.
Well, thank you. But the magazine was very helpful to me and very supportive, and so was Mother Brenda.
Tom, how old were you when you shot the film?
14 years old.
14.
Yes.
I had one question. I noticed in the first scene that Terry Malloy has a flag on the long end of a stick. What would that long flag do for the pigeons?
Well, it's sort of it's a thing that they do to direct the pigeons back to the coop.
Okay. We have another.
I wanted to finish the question that Richard Henry asked me before. First of all, the corruption was rife, but then of course in 1953, when that movie was made, there was a series of crime commission hearings, and they brought in the Waterfront Commission, which was supposed to remove crime on the waterfront, but it never really removed crime on the waterfront. But life on the waterfront always got better. It got progressively better. In other words, it became less hard work, more money. I mean, there was always the criminal element. It became one of the best jobs as a blue-collar person you could be.
How much did they pay him, 14-year-old? How much did you get?
The question that someone from the audience wants to know is what you got paid to do the movie.
Well, I'll tell you what I got paid. Actually, at the time when I got the role in the movie, me and my mom, who were living together in Hoboken, we were literally starving to death. We had no money. We were behind in our rent. We had our gas and electric shut off, and I received $250 a week for 2 weeks shooting. Now, when my mom signed the contract to do the film, like, she didn't know that it was only going to be 2 weeks, but she saw the $250, but we got paid $500, and to us, it was a lot of money at that time.
Did you get anything after that? Any residuals or?
I never got any residuals because at the time I was in the film, there were people coming around from the union, the actors union, that wanted me to join the union. And the movie company literally tried to hide me from the union people because they didn't want me to join. And me and my mom didn't want to join because we didn't want to give up the $70 to join the union. Had I joined the union, which we didn't know, and I found out later, if I would have joined the union, I would have automatically got residuals. As a result, I didn't get any residuals.
I see. Okay.
How ironic.
Did Johnny Friendly run that union too? Are there any?
It was the movie company that didn't want me to join the union. It would have been a good thing for me to join the union, but like I tell you, $70 out of $500, we didn't really want to pay it.
I see. Okay. There's another question?
I just wondered how he was chosen for the part.
Yes, okay. How did you get?
Hi, how were you chosen for the part?
I heard the question now. Well, what originally happened was, there was a person working for the movie company that was about longshoreman. And he actually worked with my father in New York. And at first I was hired to feed the pigeons on my roof. There were three pigeon coops, and I originally got hired to feed the pigeons. And the guy that worked for the movie company kept telling me he was going to get me in the movie, and I didn't really think he could get
And do we have any other questions?
What did he think of Marlon Brando?
Yes.
Here's a question. Did Marlon Brando make an impression on you that you carried with you?
Marlon Brando made a long-lasting impression on me. He was a really, really nice guy, very good to me, and very gracious to my mother. I can't say enough about the guy. He was a really, like a regular guy. Everybody in Hoboken, the longshoremen loved him. Everybody loved him. Now, all the things they wrote about him, there was no evidence, as far as I was concerned, that he was a prima donna, because he was a sweetheart of a guy.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, there's one question here, sorry.
Hi there, my name's Elizabeth, and I don't actually have a question, I have a comment, and that's that you look to me like a young Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie. And you could have had a big career in film, I think, because you were a handsome little boy.
Well, thank you. You know what? I think if I would have had the right people, like looking after me, my mom was not capable of, following through on it, and we had a couple of con artists that said they could manage me, and they really didn't do it, and, after that, I did a lot of screwing up myself, so, I had difficulty actually adjusting to the fact that I was in the movie, because when I went to school, people teased me, I got into fights, I stopped going to school, and I became a little troublemaker, and I guess people didn't want me around after a while,
I know in the conversations that we've had, you actually said that doing on the waterfront probably wasn't advantageous for your longshoreman career.
Well, when I went to work on the waterfront, I was only 17 years old, which was 3 years after I was in the movie. And I worked with a lot of tough people on the waterfront, and you had to prove yourself. When I went to work on the waterfront, I was only a skinny, 17-year-old, and I had to stand up for myself. That wasn't easy, but I wound up making a little bit of a name for myself, so people stayed away from me.
Good.
You know what? I adjusted to whatever there was. I also wanted to, I told that guy about, the peers, every time there was, a big arrest or somebody got murdered or something like that, the job on the waterfront got progressively better and better and better. Every so often there's a big surge, there's a big purge, people get sent to jail, and things get better,
Tom, the car services are going to be coming for the group here, so we want to thank you. Can everybody give a big round of applause? I hope you can hear the energy in the room, Tom. You really made this evening special for all of us. Is it true that you're the only person left alive from that film?
No, I don't think so. You know, we saved the story, right?
Oh, right.
Who's still alive?
I'll tell you one more thing. Carl Walden was a wonderful guy. He was also a guy that was very supportive, very kind to me, very, out of his way. He was just a real gentleman. Carl Walden.
Oh, yes, the priest. Yes.
I have a question.
One last question there. Everybody doesn't want to let you go. Just 1 second.
I'm really curious about Herman Munster. Fred Gwynn, he had a non-speaking part, right? Was he a big actor back then, or because he made it big as, in the Munsters later?
So can you speak to Fred Gwynn?
Actually, at the time, he was not even recognizable to me. I didn't even know who he was. And then later on, of course, he was in other movies, and, he became famous. But at that time, he was, people didn't even know who he
The last time you were on the barge, Tom, we had another actor. He had 2 lines in the film. I think one was, "What does a guy got to do to get a job around here?" and something about during the wedding. And after both of his one-liners, fights broke out. What was his name?
Well, he came from Hoboken. His real name is Matty Russo. And in Hoboken, they called him John Wayne. He was actually a truck driver. But after the waterfront, he did quite a bit of acting. I mean, he never made a film, but he got a lot of parts. His name was Matty Russo, and he came from Hoboken, but everybody in Hoboken called him John Wayne.
Is Matt Russo still alive?
I don't know. He was much older than me.
Right. I know we had him, the last time I saw you was on the barge in Hoboken, and Matt and yourself gave a live performance. Just in wrapping up, Richard's going to bring another group of about 30 people back in 2 weeks, and we're hoping, Tom, if you can, we'd love to have you come see us in person.
Well, that's the 19th, you said, right?
That's the 19th, yes.
Okay, well, you know what? I will do my best to get there.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. This is Richard Hanley again. I really appreciate your speaking tonight and your effort on coming the 19th.
Thank you. I'm going to hang up now, Tom. Thank you so much.
David.
Bye-bye.
And now a round of applause for David, please, for his hospitality.